Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. So, this is a review for Black Mirror. This is a Netflix series. If you are not familiar, head on over there to the Netflix and turn her on. Make sure you catch up on previous seasons because you might not understand what's going on. I enjoyed this season. I really enjoyed this season and I wanted to wait to watch it. Couldn't wait too long though. Because here I am. But I did want to, I tried to kind of stretch it out, all that, because I know that once I watch it and once it's over, that is it. We will not see Black Mirror for another 2 to 3 years, for sure. For sure, we're going to be waiting another 2 to 3 years before it comes back. Excuse me. So I want to kind of go through each episode briefly, just to talk about, the few things that kind of stood out to me. My takeaways, that sort of thing, because Black Mirror is going to always leave you with something to take away. Whether it's a lesson, a gym, whatever it may be. I'm just moving the thing with my feet. Sorry. Whatever it may be. Anyway, episode 1 was titled Joan is Awful. I forgot her name just that fast. She's on Schitt's Creek. The daughter on Schitt's Creek. I can't think of what her real name is. Anyway, she is who we see playing Joan initially. And just like in true Black Mirror fashion, there's going to be a twist. With this, we saw this woman, just living her life or whatever. She seemed like a professional woman, working in the tech world, something like that. She ends up having to fire one of her employees. She ends up, coming home to her husband, her fiance or whatever, and they, lead a regular life, and on this particular night, it's movie night, and they go to turn on the movie on Netflix, and this was, their Netflix was called Streamberry. Same, very, it's Netflix. That's it's obvious that we are, that they are watching Netflix, and so they turn on Joan is Awful, where this series or whatever, the leading lady in the series is being portrayed by Salma Hayek. And it's kind of odd. It's like, wait a minute, that lady look just like me. Same hair and everything. And they start watching it, and it is her entire day being played out for the world. And of course that freaks her out, and everybody's watching. It's not just her, but a lot of people tune in. And she's, going to her lawyer, trying to see how she can get her likeness off the screen and everything. We see her do this back and forth a few times, and the twist with this one. Oh, and sorry, plenty of spoilers in this review. So if you haven't watched it, you might want to turn it off now, because I'm about to spoil it. About to spoil the end for you. Are you gone? Okay. If you're still here, you want to know. She goes to an attorney. The attorney basically tells her there's nothing that she can do about it. She can't sue nobody. None of that, because she, in the fine print, signed away the rights to her images and all of that. And this huge big ass warning coming in the form of of episode 1 in this Netflix series is basically showing us how important it is to read that fine print. You just cannot sign away your likeness and all of that and expect them people not to use it. It goes for any subscription you have, the Facebook, Instagram, all of those. They have the right to use our pictures, our images, our likeness, whatever. They have the right to do it, and we sign it away once we say consent, so that we can download these things onto our devices. It's crazy. And I know that this is just a fictional depiction, of what that looks like, but it's just that simple. That they took her likeness and everything, and she's like, so how are they like following my every move? Like, how do they know what I've done, up until now? The lawyer talks to her about, how you might put your phone down, and you're just talking about Mielle hair products. You get on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, here come all the Mielle ads. And it's just like that. And I was like, wow. I love Black Mirror for the mind fuck of it all, for sure. You're going to listen, a complete mind fuck will always happen. Always going to have you like, what? That was one of those moments. Like, we don't ever read the fine print. We're hardly reading at all, honestly. People are just not reading at all. Myself included, I'm not reading that fine print, and I should. I would hate to turn on Netflix and see this type of stuff, the whole breakdown of it all and why they chose to do, okay, Joan is awful as opposed to Joan is awesome, because they had tried the good content, the happy content, the peaceful stuff. Y'all bored. Y'all don't want that. You want the drama. You want the negative, title. That's clickbait. It's just crazy. The episode, listen, we were off to a great start. It turned out to be, though, that it was this woman at a company, I would say like Twitter. No, she was the head of Streamberry, so they're Netflix. And she was utilizing this machine that basically was running like, it was almost like this is one of those things you can't like really explain, like time traveling. It reminded me of that, like they were on different dimensions or something like that, because it was 3 Jones in the works, I guess I should say. Like it was three Jones. It was Salma Hayek Joan, it was the real Joan, and then it was the Joan that we saw. The real Joan was the one actually doing all of this, trying to destroy that machine, and had her life plan on the loop. And so many others, because when they did end up, at the headquarters, they ended up seeing that there were so many people, everybody that had signed up with a subscription to Streamberry, there was a television show attached to your name. Anyway, moving on. Let's move on to episode 2, Lock Henry. This one was slow, but I also love the twist on the end. Also love that. The leading lady in this episode, she kind of bit off more than she could chew, and I kind of saw that one coming. Her boyfriend she and her boyfriend were into filmmaking. They were in town to interview some man that had some eggs. It was something small. Girlfriend, she's supporting her man, and so she's down for the ride, but she really wants to cover a more juicy story. She finds out about her boyfriend's father, who was an ex-police officer, and he ended up being killed, not on the job, but he ended up being killed due to the injuries he sustained after a run-in with this person that was accused of being a serial killer. And when she finds this out, she's like, oh, that's the story we need to tell. That's the story we need to tell. And so, they go and get all their research and all of this, that, and the third. And girlfriend is at the house, without her man, because I don't know what he was doing. He was doing something, but she's at the house with her man's mother, watching, all of what they were able to gather. She's just doing her editing, and they were utilizing these tapes that were these home tapes or whatever, that cassette tape, not cassette tapes. The VCR tapes, them tapes. They used some of those old ones that were around the house, and there were a slew of them with the same television show on it. Like, it was like, they were like, oh, when she saw it, she's like, your parents are huge fans. Like, it would be like if I had a whole bunch of homemade videos of Martin laying around the house, and it was just labeled Martin. If you know me, you know I'm a Martin fanatic, so that's pretty plausible. But for them, the tapes had a little bit something else on them. And this time they recorded over this, but the tape, they didn't use all of it. And so the very end of it, she was able to see what was really going on. Her man's daddy and mama were the ones that were capturing and torturing and killing couples throughout wherever they living at. Mama just all involved. She got on her dress. She playing dress up and everything, you know, torturing the people, put on her mask that happened to sit right on the mantle in the living room. And so now homegirl in a sticky situation because she in this house with this lady, and this lady a serial killer. Of course, she gets out of there. She does get out of there, and she was a black girl, so it was very black girl of her to get her ass up out of there. She got up out of there. And it doesn't end well for her though. And this was a lesson. It made me check my obsession with true crime. Because in doing all of this and finding all of this information out and doing all this research, her man was just suffering. He really was. You know, when we watch these true crime shows, it's easy to forget that this really happened to somebody. These people, you know, living or not living, the victims, their families, all of that, people are still affected by it. And so the fact that we have capitalized off of it, and, you know, people make so much money, it's pretty sad. It was kind of daunting. You know, it's kind of like, oh, and I love a true crime. But it's like, if you've experienced that, been through that, your family has, you know, it's close, it hits close to your home. True crime ain't all that to you. It's just not. These are the true events of someone's past, you know, like, you got to think about the victims and their families and how it must feel seeing true crime documentaries all over the place about your loved one. Sometimes the information isn't right. Sometimes they done left stuff off. It's important. It's important to keep the victims in mind. That's what episode 2 absolutely showed me. You know, like it's have a little empathy. You know, we need to have a little bit more empathy. Because these documentaries are depicting people's trauma, and it's just drudging it back up for a lot of people, which it did for this guy in this series, but it also brought forth the truth, because they were under the impression it was someone else, and that someone else was one of their victims that they just framed for it. And his mother ended up, you know, she figured it out that the girl done found her out. She saw the tape. She was caught. And so she gathered all the rest of the tapes up, wrote her son a note for your film, and unalived herself. That episode kind of left me like, oh, shit. Because the girl ended up dying too. The girlfriend, she ended up dying too. Hitting her head on the rock, running from the lady. Anyway, episode 3, Beyond the Sea. Now this one I kind of predicted. This one. We got the 2 men out in space or whatever, and I'm like, is this for the time period? It's very futuristic, but okay. Apparently in this universe, the people have clones for themselves. It's a live, you know, host, I would say, for your subconscious mind, because out in space, they kind of lay in this thing that, you know, puts them to sleep, and their subconscious mind is transferred into that host body. That, you know, feels fleshly, all that, you know. But so it's essentially that person, but not physically that person. It's really just their subconscious mind. But anyway, we got 2 men. Both of them are married. One completely just dismisses his wife. He's rigid. He don't fuck her. He don't touch her. He don't hug her. Nothing. He's just there, basically. And then there's the other one, very charismatic, loving, doting to his children, all of that, be pleasing his wife, all that. And one night, there's a home invasion, and it's these people. One of them is played by Macaulay Culkin's little brother. Is that his little brother? Yeah, it's his little brother. He comes in there with these other two girls. It was giving Manson vibes. It was giving the Manson cult vibes. They don't like the clones or whatever. You know, they feeling like the government doing too much. Right wing. It was giving too much. It was all the bad activism you could think about. And so they went up in there and basically killed the entire family as well as the host body. They burned it. So it was destroyed. So there was nothing for him to send his subconscious to. And so he was alone out there in space while his partner, went back and forth regularly with his family. They decide one day, he looks so sad around here. Let's just let him come down into my host, just to get some fresh air, to walk around, just to be out of here. And so his wife agrees. She's reluctant, but she agrees. Of course, just like I thought, because he the charismatic one. He the one pleasing his wife, on a regular basis. He the one, being a good husband. And I knew that he was going to sweep that woman off her feet. And he found any way, for his reason to get back to her, to keep going back was, I want to paint. Let me paint. I want to paint your house. I could do it if I'm there, But I saw him coming a mile away. I was thinking to myself, he gonna end up falling for this man's wife and end up trying to take this man out. But that ain't what happened. That is not what happened. He got him to let his guard down, and called. He had him outside of the spaceship, out, doing something on the spaceship, which was wasting time. And while he did that, he went back, because he was forbidden to go back into go back into the man's host, after the guy found out, you falling for my wife, you in here drawing her nude and all of that. It was bad. He found out about it. And so, of course, you ain't no going back down there in my host body. We not doing none of that no more. So he gets him and distracts him so that he can get back down there in the host body. once back down there and he come back, dude wake up bloody. So the realization is that he took that time to massacre that man's family. So now they both are without their families out there in space. Now that's a lesson. You better treat people how you want them to treat you, because he started to be very rude about it, But then it's like you're obsessing over this man's family, Like, of course he's gonna tell you, this is my family, like my son, my family, that's my wife. I'm gonna need you to back. That one had a sad ending as well. Not really sad, but it was just like, damn. Now y'all both in space alone with no one. Anyway, episode 4, Maisie Day. This one was my favorite. Episode. So this was a huge dig at the paparazzi. Because when a celebrity is at their worst, paparazzi, they really stop at nothing to get their shot. They're going to stop at nothing. Then there are some celebrities that will come out swinging, like a Kanye West, or like in this case, like in this movie, like the lady Maisie did. I like the twist at the end. I felt like because she found herself in a situation. There's this girl, she's a celebrity actor, on drugs heavily, drinking heavily, all of that. She's already a part of that kind of scene. And she ends up driving under the influence and hitting someone. What we saw was a hit and run, and then we see her kind of, isolating herself, and she wants to go in hiding and all of that. And of course, the whole time you're like, damn, it's because she done did a hit and run. That's why she running. And Also at the same time, there's a group of people there, paparazzi. They're in the paparazzi field, as I guess you would say. They are, all of them are looking for their next big break. Basically, they need their next big paycheck. And this Maisie woman and her going into hiding and possibly going to rehab, all of that, of course, brings them, out there to where she lives and, where she might be and all of that. And they find her. And they run up in that room, and the scene with all of the cameras flashing, I was like, oh my God. Because it was so real. That woman was at her worst. She's literally in the bed looking like she's going through withdrawals. She has a chain around her neck. And so the one of the paparazzi, the girl that plays the leading role in this episode, she has a bit of empathy for these people, and that they are people, So she didn't really appreciate them just, getting all these pictures of this lady at her lowest like this. Let's try to get this. What is this around her neck? What is this chain around her neck? All this symbolism. I love it. This is why this one was my favorite. The chain around her neck. Addiction that a lot of celebrities deal with. And that paparazzi and, the media just don't care. They just don't care what you're dealing with, what you're going through. They gonna get their picture. It's gonna get sold to the highest bidder, and that's just what it is. Never mind the fact that you're really in rehab, you really at therapy, you really doing whatever it is you need to do for your health, and the paparazzi just don't care. Turns out sis was a werewolf. She turned into a werewolf right before their eyes. So again, they will come out swinging. These celebrities are going to start coming out swinging on that ass if y'all don't cut it out. Like let people have their peace and their privacy. The lady was just trying to go to rehab. Honestly, she was running because she was a werewolf. She had gotten bit. And she knew that, which is why she had her neck chain and all of that. It was a really good episode. Maisie Day was my favorite. It was my favorite. She checking herself into rehab like most celebrities do. It was very realistic. Like I said, so many gems and what they call them? Easter eggs. Episode 5, which was the last episode, Demon 79. This was my least favorite and it's mainly because I don't like that Hollywood lately, as of lately, any show that I've watched and there's a demon in it, which I be pleading the blood Jesus anyway, right off the bat anyway. But I don't like that they like to depict the devil in such a comedic way. Ain't nothing funny about his ass. Like, ain't nothing funny about demons and shit like that. It's just like, no, we need to always maintain seriousness when it comes to the spiritual world and all that, because it is very serious, not nothing to play with. and I might just be being too deep, but I don't find humor in the funny demon. It's like, why you couldn't have just casted a regular person? Like, I can even stomach it being a spirit, or spirit, someone's spirit, as opposed to it being a demon straight from hell, telling jokes and shit, trying to be a likable character. Nah. But I guess, it's fictional. Who are I to judge? I ain't writing it. Ain't nobody paid me to sit up and write the episode. So, I mean, hey. But they always trying to give Satan a comedic role, and it's like, no. It lacked a lot of context as well. Like, okay, this girl working in this department store goes down to her basement to eat her lunch, ends up cutting herself on something. And where did this something come from? Where did it come from? Was it always there? Like, who was down there before her? Like there needed to be a little bit more backstory behind how this piece of whatever that object was, how it got there in the first place. You know, like I was thinking maybe one of the other co-workers or another character was going to show up that had experienced it as well. And you know, they were going to be able to beat the demon or whatever. But no, it did not play out like that at all. But that's Black Mirror for you. This one wasn't predictable, like at all. She finds this thing in the basement, you know, and it ends up summoning a demon, and it's like, has this happened before? Like, where did this little, and I forgot what they called it, but where did it come from? How did it end up there? I'm not talking about no long drawn out backstory, but come on, give me something. Give me a flashback or at least something. I'm just like, what? I also didn't like her annoying ass coworker never got what was coming to her, because the entire time she deserved the entire time, and she never got what was coming. It was everybody but her, and that was really pissing me off. That was really pissing me off, because I'm like, her racist ass needs to go. Why is she still a part of this scene? So that one was my least favorite. Because that lady ended up taking all them people out for nothing, essentially, because in the end, they didn't stop the apocalypse from coming. I enjoy Black Mirror. I really do. I'm gonna go now. I think I done talked long enough. 26 minutes. That's good enough time. I think I'm gonna go and wrap it on up. But anyway, before I go, I did want to say I enjoyed it. If you haven't watched it, I recommend. It's if you like television shows that are, you know, going to make you think and think outside the box. This is one of those. It's not a horror situation or anything like that. No thriller, no nothing like that, but it's very thought-provoking and sometimes strange, very weird writing sometimes, but I love that it makes me think. I love that about Black Mirror as a whole. I will say of the previous seasons, this might be the best one. Because I did not like the one where they were in space. Hated it. That and I think that might have just been an episode, but I remember I don't know why I'm vividly remembering that episode when they were out in space, and I don't remember what season was that. It don't matter. Anyway, now I'm just rambling. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.